AI demand is exploding, but something unexpected is slowing the semiconductor industry down. It's not nanometers, it's water, electricity, and resource scarcity. Chip memory shortages are already delaying product launches. Chip kings are becoming the stock market giants, but their dominance may depend on the chip supply, power capacity, and the global market flows. And device makers are racing to embed trust and security directly into the silicon because more AI is moving into our hands, our homes, and our lives. If you want to understand the real forces shaping the global chip race, this is the episode you don't want to skip. Hello and welcome back to Chips Weekly by Diana, your weekly guide to the technology underneath the future of the world. This week delivered a set of signals that the semiconductor race is undergoing a transformation. It's no longer only about the raw performance, it's about whether the world can support the demand in power, water, materials, and whether we can still trust the silicon we built into every device. In this episode, we'll cover why memory shortages are coming back with big consequences, the news shift in AI chip supply chain, and what it means for tech giants and challengers alike, how Europe is repositioning its chip material strategy for long-term supply security, our industry spotlight, the real cost of building chips at scale. And we'll close as usual with our chip of the week. Let's begin by looking at the memory. Story number 1. Memory shortage returns. Memory suppliers worldwide are reporting a tightening of DRAM and HBM supply once again. Demand is surging. Not because consumers want faster phones, but because AI data centers are gobbling up memory at the fastest speed. As companies build bigger models, larger clusters, HBM becomes a key bottleneck. Consumers, from PC buyers to automakers, are being pushed back in the queue. Delays in production, price surges, and inventory freezes already visible at electronics and hardware pipelines. This isn't a temporary glitch. This is a structural imbalance. AI ambition versus memory chip capacity. Without sufficient memory, no HBM, no GPUs, no scalable AI infrastructure. That makes memory the new choke point, and for many companies, now the most critical resource. Story number 2. AI chip supply chain shakes up. Memory firms exit, design expands. In a major shift this week, veteran memory vendor Micron Technology announced it's exiting its consumer memory business entirely, choosing to double down on high bandwidth memory for AI. At the same time, major chip design player ARM Holdings revealed plans to open a new chip design training and development facility in South Korea, aimed at boosting local system semiconductor and AI chip design capability. What does it mean for the industry? First, memory supply is consolidating. As traditional consumer memory business shrinks, HBM demanding, expensive, scarce becomes central. That raises the stakes for every AI chip maker. Second, design competition is widening. As the new talent hubs emerge globally, chip architecture may diversify. The era when a handful of giants dominate may face a real disruption. Put simply, the supply chain behind AI chips is shifting. Today, dominant players, GPUs, memory foundries, may no longer guarantee long-term control. New alliances, New players and a new supply dynamics are forming, and they could reshape who leads the next wave of AI hardware. Story number 3. Europe's circular material strategy. Securing a supply base, Europe's chip industry faces a strategic challenge: a heavy dependency on imported critical materials, gallium, germanium, rare earths, vital to semiconductor fabrication. This week, the European Commission advanced plans to institute a full circular material supply chain, from recycling electronics and old power modules to reclaiming rare materials and feeding them back into European fabs. Rather than racing for the most advanced node, Europe is aiming for resilience, building a supply base that doesn't rely on distant suppliers. If successful, that could transform the industry, creating a stable, sovereign material supply, reducing geopolitical risk and making European fabs less vulnerable to global disruption. It's not anymore about first at 2 nanometers, but about making sure the lights stay on when the conflicts break out. Industry spotlight when chips meet planet and resource limits. Let's take a step back. For decades, the semiconductor race was fueled by 2 assumptions: performance, always doubling compute; supply, unlimited wafers, materials, power. But today, those assumptions are cracking. Modern fabs require enormous power and ultra-pure water. Critical elements, gallium, germanium, rare earths, special gases, are controlled by a few suppliers worldwide. Memory, the backbone of AI hardware, is now the bottleneck. Environmental concerns, energy costs, and resource scarcity are shaping industrial decisions. In other words, building chips isn't a science fiction anymore. It's a research challenge. The chips of the future won't just be measured in nanometers. They'll be measured in kilowatts, liters, and grams. The companies that learn how to build under these constraints, that design efficient, resilient, and scalable silicon ecosystem, will lead, and the rest will fall behind. Finally, the chip of the week. For this week's highlight, we look not at the fab, but at what's inside your pocket. Enter the new CleanCore security architecture from Apple's M5 Pro. As AI moves from cloud servers to the personal devices, phones, laptops, wearables, privacy becomes the hardest problem. CleanCore offers a hardware-isolated processing enclave, encrypted neural memory, and zero-trust boot verification, building data security into the silicon itself. It's a shift in the mindset. Chips are no longer just performance engines. They are now the guardians of the privacy, gatekeepers of trust. In a world where every device must run inference, trust becomes as valuable as speed. CleanCore is our chip of the week because it represents not just evolution, but responsibility. That's all for this week's Chips Weekly by Diana. If you found value in this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and share. And I want to hear from you. What is the biggest threat for the AI future? Is it resource scarcity, supply chain shifts, or shrinking memory capacity? Drop your thoughts in a comment. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and stay chip aware.